situation in the Middle East is not only changing internally, but is also changing partly because the global geopolitics is rapidly changing. The world order that was evolved some 80 years ago has undergone a phenomenal stress, and that is impacting Middle East as well. Two features are important to consider. One is the US-China competition, which is affecting Middle East. But the second, and this is important because this is recent and has an emphatic dimension to it, it is the rise and return of Donald Trump, who, as you know, is deeply committed to supporting Prime Minister Netanyahu, and has some rather ambitious plans, not only in the areas around the United States, but also in the Middle East. Then we have about 4 areas which I hope our panelists will be able to address adequately. One, of course, is the Israel-Palestine conflict, which has lingered on but has entered a new phase following the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7, 2023, and the ferocious response that Israel has given, resulting in injuries of more than 46,000, untold brutalities inflicted on the people of Gaza, and there is no end in sight. Israel is also showing its ambition for expansionism, maybe greater Israel, we don't know the boundaries of it, but it is something that is being talked about, and I hope our people will be able to indicate to us what is next after it has annexed the buffer zone in Syria's Golan Heights. We also have the issue of Syria itself, which has undergone a phenomenal change following the dissolution of the al-Assad regime. And we would like to certainly benefit from the views of not only the panelists, but also from Air Marshal and former ambassador to Syria. If the present regime, there had Tahrir al-Sham, which has a controversial background, but was able to dislodge and take a regime and take part, is setting a precedent which scares many other countries in the region. But it also depends whether it can stabilize Syria or it will not stabilize Syria. So, because if it does not, then that's going to impact the rest of the region as well. The key actor, I would say, other than Israel, is Iran. And as of yesterday, I heard that Iran is now preparing for a full-scale war. And I heard that there are reports of similar preparations in Israel. And Biden administration has also conducted wargaming by its national security team on how to support Israel in that war. So it's going to be a major challenge for the region. We are also hearing that Iran has increased its enrichment to 90% and has now weapon-grade technology. And if Iran goes nuclear, then what would be the implications for others, including Saudi Arabia? All these are questions which are going to impact us as well. Then there is the Gulf states, Saudi Arabia, UAE, undergoing massive transformation internally and also externally. And they are reorienting their priorities, they're sort of diversifying their options, leaning more towards China and we also see that China has sort of facilitated a rapprochement with Iran for Saudi Arabia. Now, that means growing role for China, although there is a receding role for Russia, mainly because of its preoccupation with Ukraine. And I hope that panelists will also discuss the other purpose of our seminar today, which is the impact on the policies that Pakistan government should adopt, particularly vis-a-vis the Israeli expansionism and its likely or potential war with Iran. Iran is our neighbor. And if Iran goes nuclear, what is it that Pakistan should do and should conduct its policies? We also have some positive opportunities after the rapprochement between Iran and Saudi Arabia. In my own assessment, we have failed to capitalize on them, mainly because of the lack of capacities within our own setup to avail them. But this is something that also needs to be discussed. So there's a lot on the table, but we have some excellent panelists, former ambassadors to Saudi Arabia and Iran, two key players in the Middle East, and also the academic perspectives from very learned people. So the academia often complains that the policymakers don't listen to all these theses that we prepare, and the government is too busy, fighting fire rather than listening to them. So think tanks provide that link. So therefore, Sanober Institute is teaming up with the academia so that this voice gets enhanced and reaches the policy-making circles on the things that they need to hear. Thank you so much once again for coming.